Hey, I'm Chris Ralph, the professional prospector, and today I'm over at Keene Engineering. Now, Keene, this is Pat. And
How you doing?
Pat and Mark are in charge here, but Keene is probably the main maker of small miners equipment. They make dry washers, dredges, sluice boxes, high bankers, kind of you name it. You got it. And even stuff you don't make, you have for sale, right? I mean, you don't make metal detectors, but you sell metal detectors.
Absolutely.
And I've been buying stuff from Keene for a long time. I was telling Pat that I think I bought my first sluice box that was an old A51 in, I think it was 77, which means that's a long time ago.
That's before I graduated junior high.
So, and you know what? That sluice box, I'm still using it.
That's incredible.
So it's still my main sluice box. Like if I go up to a stream or whatever and I'm, putting material in a sluice box, that's the sluice box I use.
The old-fashioned one, nothing new and fancy.
I did do one thing to it. It came with indoor-outdoor carpet, right? And I replaced that with miner's moss. Just because I thought it'd get a little bit better recovery. But it was the old one that has the expanded metal underneath. It was indoor-outdoor carpet, expanded metal, and then relatively low height riffles, because it was made for a river environment. So, unlike a dredge where you're really putting a lot of water through in a river type of stream type of environment, you don't need as high a riffles. And so it's a great sluice box. I've recovered many ounces with that sluice box over the years. Right, a long time. But Keene makes equipment that's good stuff and it lasts. I have a dry washer that I bought, I would say probably like 79, okay? And I know it was before I got married. I got married in 1980. I had that dry washer and I used it for years and years and years, and finally I sold it to a friend and upgraded to a newer Keene. This is the old one I have is the old drawstring puffer type. You pull on a cord and the bellows goes puff, puff, puff. I upgraded to a Keene one that's still bellows, but it runs on the 12-volt motor. So you can put a battery to it and it goes puff, puff, puff.
That's one of the oldest type of dry washers there are.
The old bellows type is the, and I like them. With the blower motor and that kind of stuff, you certainly can run a lot more gravel through there. But if you're carrying your dry washer into a place away from the road, the more gear you have, the more stuff you got to carry. And
absolutely.
So my dry washer is chosen in part to be lightweight.
Amazing. We've been building equipment since 1950. My grandfather started the company. He was a mining engineer, such as Ralph. And he was also a geologist and he graduated from the Colorado School of Mines. And he was a pretty brilliant guy. But I think my dad had the true business mind, which came in the next generation. My dad, Jerry Keene, and he was just a natural businessman, and he was loved by everyone and took real good care of everyone.
I dealt with your dad way back when.
But over the time, just the evolution of the mining industry and the equipment is just constantly morphed and constantly changed into what it is today, with a lot of new ideas, new concepts, new patents, new ideas, a lot of the stuff that has been brought forth by our customers.
You guys have made a lot of great improvements to your equipment over the years. It really have.
Absolutely. That's part of the genesis of building a better mousetrap. You keep on working on it and you keep on listening to your customers. And you see what the industry wants, which direction drives you in that certain direction, and you know what? We're very blessed.
It's a great operation, and that's why I brought my folks here to take a tour kind of your shop and take a look around and talk about some of your equipment and give people a chance to see what's being offered.
Absolutely.
All right, well, if that's okay, let's do that.
You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
So we're here inside Keene's showroom, they basically with some of their equipment for sale, and we're taking a look at a couple of different things. And before we go in and do a tour of the shop, but one of the things I wanted to show you, I just mentioned a second ago, was that Keene sells metal detectors, even a number of different types and brands, and we're taking a look at that right now.
Absolutely. I carry a lot of the major brands like White's and MindLab and Fisher and Garrett. And this is one of the newest and latest machines by MindLab. It's called the GPX 6000. This is for the more serious detector guy, or for the professional, I should say. And you know what? The machines and the technology just keeps on getting better and better. This is like a $6,000 machine right here. But you know what? When you're going and you're looking for gold, you want an edge on everyone else, and you want to be able to hunt a lot of spots that have already been previously hunted. And the MindLab is some of the best.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Now I use Fisher a lot too, but more than any brand of detector, I use more MindLab.
Absolutely.
But I haven't seen the MindLab 6000. This is actually the first one that I've seen in person. I've just seen pictures of it. I'm sure I will have my hands on one sometime this summer, and I'll get out there and give it a try.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me too.
All right, let's go out in the factory and check it out.
Let's go out and take a look in the shop.
All right. Here we are out in the plant. This is one of our awesome machines that does a lot of the metal cutting for us.
Yeah, you guys make your own stuff, so you got to cut metal up and
you know what?
weld it.
Nothing's made in China. It's all made here in the USA. Right now we're cutting some steel blanks for a product that we make. One of the many products that we make. This actually gets welded onto a cylinder, and it's used for a combination auger vacuum system, we call. It's called a holy moly. But forget about that. This is one of many parts that this machine does. It's basically a water jet machine.
So it cuts it with a water jet?
We've got an 8 by 16 foot table, and it uses 98,000 PSI,
yikes,
high pressure water, with the venturi of garnet sand. And this machine cuts steel up to 4 inches thick.
That's amazing.
Or we can cut plastic with it.
Sure.
We can cut different types of media with it. But it's amazing. But you know, if you ever passed your finger through that thing, you'd be short one finger just as well. Well, since most of the guys are gone, let's take a walk into the rest of the factory and you can check it out.
Let's take a look.
Right on. There's actually about 4 of these, 4 different areas where I have guys that are pre-packing. This is where a lot of our accessory boxes are done. This is where we have different size power jets. We're constantly having to fill these racks almost on a bi-weekly basis.
You still sell a lot of dredges, even though California has... I haven't dredged since 2009.
You know what? There's still a lot of people out there doing it.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, people are using it to do land reclamation.
True.
To do different types of jobs. You know, fortunately, I even sell to the Department of Defense.
Right.
I sell to the Navy.
You sell overseas too, though.
I sell equipment all over the world. Anywhere where you have gold or mining, people are buying Keene engineering equipment. That's because they know the equipment's made in the USA, and we don't shortcut anything.
It's reliable. Like I say, I've been buying Keene equipment for 40 plus years. More years than I really want to admit to.
Yeah. All right, well, let's check out the rest of the factory.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, this is where the magic happens. This is where we ship all of our orders out.
Sure, sure.
This is where we do a lot of our packing.
You guys take orders from the internet and stuff too?
We do orders on the internet. We got orders coming in from everywhere, all over the world.
There's a lot of dealers that sell your equipment, but you sell to individuals as well.
Oh, absolutely. I would say that's probably about half of our business now.
Okay.
A lot of internet sales. But you know, someone calls in, someone places an order. The guys run around our warehouse and pick all the parts, and they bring them to this area, and then they pack everything, package them, label them, and ship them out
to wherever.
To wherever.
Sounds
even out of a machine to shoot some foam.
To pack it in there to...
Yeah, it's a 2-element foam that expands.
Sure, no, I like that.
So when we send motors or fragile items, we can foam pack them, encase them in foam, and it works out pretty well.
You don't want them bouncing around.
No, we don't.
Some of that stuff's heavy, the motors and all.
Oh, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's move on.
So where are we now, Pat?
We're back in our area right here where we have our plastic injection machine behind me. This is where a lot of the parts are made, like our foot valves, our gold pans, our sieves and things of that nature. You know, people are always asking me, do you guys really make it, or is this stuff made in China? Well, right now we have our mold in for our sieves. And what's interesting is the plastics that we use is all virgin plastic. I hate to say it's not recycled plastic, but it actually lasts a lot longer, and it has UV inhibitors in it.
I own like 5 or 6 of these different screens.
And these are some of our deeper sieves. These are the most popular sieves on the market. It says right here, Keene Engineering, made in the USA.
Made in the USA.
And we sell thousands of these sieves. And we just don't sell them just for the gold mining industry. I even sell them to everything from sand and gravel to the cannabis industry, to all kinds of different people use the classifying sieves. Some of the people use them for foods, for sorting out or seeds or things of that nature. But we make these things for everything. But these are the best classifiers. And right here, it shows how we actually insert a stainless steel screen with the rim, and we lay it in a bed of urethane. Then after that, we take a gun and we put a thick bead and let it settle in there. And then once it cures a little bit, we put a second bead. These are probably one of our more popular items. And this is something that every prospector has.
No, like I say, I have at least 5 or 6 different sizes of these, from pretty coarse to pretty small. And if you guys ever watch my video on how to recover fine gold from black sand, it's a series of these screens is really the key, so that you're not doing the coarse and the fine all at the same time.
One thing I wanted to say, these are made in the USA. So when you buy stuff that's made in the USA, you're supporting US companies. From the people that buy the plastic, to the people that truck it, to the people that cast it, to the people that use it. So we make all of our pans, our foot valves, and a lot of the different parts in this machine right behind here. I remember operating this machine when I was just a kid.
I actually worked in a plastic injection molding shop when I was in high school. Worked for summer.
Well, right on. Let's move over and let's go see some other stuff.
Okay. So where are we now?
This is where we do a lot of our machining. You're now in the machining center. We do a lot of our back plates and a lot of our pump housings and a lot of our different types of aluminum castings.
Like the impellers and stuff?
Yes. We do them on these 2 machines. This is a CNC mill and this is a CNC lathe.
Okay.
The lathe does a lot of the impellers.
Okay.
But actually, this is a machine that does a lot of our housings.
Okay.
This is how we can achieve tight tolerances on all of our pumps.
That's one of the things that make your pumps really good, is that the problem is, in a lot of, you buy a cheap pump, it pumps water, but it's very open. And so you lose a lot of pressure doing that. And when you're dredging, the pressure you generate, you want that pressure, because that gives you the suction through your dredge. And so if you have a really loose impeller inside a pump housing, you're not getting as much pressure and you're not sucking as much.
A lot of people want to use these trash pumps. And the problem is with the trash pump, most of those pumps only put out maybe 95, 98 maximum head lift. Divided by 2.3 would be about 44 psi. And you need a minimum of 65, 70 psi to create so many inches of vacuum. And if you have less vacuum than that, the rocks don't even move, or just rolling up the hose until they get jammed.
Because I've had that, where I've had some problem with a pump or something, some problem with a motor. And if you don't have enough suction to really pull everything along, you have like 10 times the plus.
Absolutely. So that's why it's important to have real tight tolerances, things that fit together real well. Right. A lot different than the Chinese stuff you see out there.
And you guys have been making this stuff for decades and decades, so you know how it's done.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you know, I have a machinist that has been working for us for about 50 years.
Wow.
And last year was his 50th anniversary here at Keene Engineering, which is a milestone. Right. He's one of my oldest employees that I had here, that my father hired when he was 16 years old. But what's interesting is I gave him about a 1 ounce nugget to wear around his neck.
There you go.
Kind of a big thank you from Keene Engineering. Yep. And I'll tell you, that's pretty special for him. Anyone who's got a nugget, it's a big deal. Anyhow, let's show you some of the other stuff, some of the old school stuff as well. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay, this is some of our old lathes, some of the old school stuff. There's a turret machine behind there that belonged to my grandfather. This is the old school stuff right here, and we still use it today. When stuff doesn't have to be super high tolerance, this is the stuff right here that does it. And in fact, my machinist, this is the stuff that he learned on, and this is the stuff that he still uses from time to time. When we do any kind of production, we use the automated machinery when we're having to do hundreds or thousands of parts at a time. Okay, you guys, this is my other half, my brother Mark Keene.
The better half.
He's also a gold miner, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yep. See, Patrick's the social butterfly in the family. He likes to go out with an entourage. I like to go by myself or my wife or just maybe one buddy. A little bit different personalities in that category.
Anyhow, this is our motor department here. This is where when we have our motors, we line up our motors here and we put all of our back plates and pumps and air compressors on.
Right.
So this is where we do kind of the final assembly of our motors and our air compressors and things of that nature.
Sure.
Just kind of want to give you a little shot on what we are.
Did you go over and talk to them about how we build everything in-house?
Yes. Yeah, we went over to the...
Right, even the castings are made here in LA County type deal. Everything's domestically made, which is cool. Which both Pat and I are pretty proud of.
Yeah. Sure. No, we went over to the CNC machine and the injection molding machine, so we looked at all that.
Yeah, that's it. We make everything here, you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably 99% all-American made products that comes out of our shop.
Let's take a look at the sheet metal shop.
Okay.
And maybe you could talk for a moment.
Sure. All right, just want to give you a quick view of our shop. This is our kind of our general assembly area. We do a lot of aluminum and plastic fabrication.
Sheet metal shop.
Yeah, we do a lot of different things at the same time. You know, if you look like something like this, we're building our world famous Supermax dredge, the 6-inch one that has the 2 side boxes, and it's been a worldwide success for us all over the world. In fact, you can show them the sluice box behind us maybe.
Yeah, this is 3 parts of the sluice. 2 parts with the sluice. The third last part is the sump that actually takes all the sand that would normally flow off the end of the sluice and recirculates that into a secondary recovery system for fine gold.
Into the sump, into the side box.
Yeah, so it screens your material like a 1/4 inch. It takes it down to the sump and through another hose and a Venturi system, which brings it into a side box with only 1/8 inch material, and that way you can control the water flow and the velocity to get that super fine gold recovery.
So you guys got a bunch of dry washers here too that I can see you're working on. You guys are working on a whole bunch of different things at once.
Right now I'm building 400 dry washers, and these are all destined for Africa for the Sahara Desert. After that, I have another 100 dry washers that I'm building for Australia.
You know, when I went to Africa, the guys that took me there, I said, look, you guys really should be selling dry washers. And they said, no, we want to sell metal detectors. Look, metal detectors, it's great. You should sell metal detectors, but you guys should be selling dry washers.
They kind of go hand in hand.
I know. Yeah. And I talked to them, and they said, no, it'll take away from our dry washer market. And I told them, look, if you don't sell them dry washers, somebody's going to.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of what happened.
Well, it's big business for us nowadays.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of applications.
And we've probably shipped maybe 10,000 dry washers over to Africa now.
Yep.
and it's a big deal.
Yeah, no.
And they're finding a lot of gold in Sahara Desert. In the bottom of a lot of these sand dunes, you have concentrated pockets that are filled with gold. It's amazing.
I was in West Africa, and West Africa has a lot of places that would be really productive. I was in Burkina Faso, and I was in
That's real big for us.
Cote d'Ivoire, and briefly in Mali.
Yeah. We had a dredge in Mali on the Niger River for years.
I mean, both. I spent some time in Sierra Leone, Mali, Liberia, and over to the Congo too.
I spent also a lot of time in places, but other places like Honduras,
Right.
and South America and the Amazon jungle.
He got thrown in jail too.
I deserved it.
Well, anyway, you guys are really working on a whole lot of things. You got a lot of great products. I got to say that I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come out with in the future, because it seems like you guys are always improving on whatever products that you're marketing.
Constantly evolving.
But you know, you got to realize a lot of our ideas is that a guy calls us up, said, you know, I love your product, but I made this adjustment or this tweak,
Right.
and really, then we'll go out, build it, maybe send them a couple revised versions of it, and then we'll come back and then we'll put it in production after we do our own testing. So
Yeah.
we're always in a constant state of evolution. We never just, you buy something you bought last year, you don't always expect it to look the same the next year.
Yeah, but we have to go out there and test. So we have an excuse to get away from here, get away from the monotony of the business, and actually enjoy it ourselves.
We
And
don't-
find gold.
Yeah, we don't have much of a life here during the week, but when we do get away, we get away. We try to disconnect from the shop a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to do a little flash around? Maybe I ought to walk around with the camera for a moment.
I'll walk around and do a couple of pans of
Okay.
some different things.
Okay, this is our welding room. I normally have 2 to 3 guys working in here that are welding like robots every day. We have a good ventilation system. We got all the top of the line equipment. We have all Miller equipment, all brand new welders and everything else. We got everything from MIGs to TIGs to push-pull wire feed MIG welders that do aluminum and stainless steel. Right here, these guys are welding part of the center part of the RC1 rock crusher.
Oh, okay.
This
That's
is
part of the rock
actually the steel wear ring that fits inside of that plastic drum,
Right.
and it's an impact mill.
Right.
So there's a 2x4 piece of steel with a large mouth in it
Right.
that 1 inch of minus material drops into, and as that thing is spinning around 3,000 RPMs, it's slinging the material into the wall, and then the blade keeps on coming around and hitting the material again and again and again. And it happens so fast that you can run the material 2-3 times and get from 1 inch rock down to powder.
Right, right. No, I'm familiar with this, and it's a good product. It's the speed of it spinning around
Yeah.
that flings the rock against the sidewall.
Exactly.
The rock basically explodes and hits it
And
so
I think
hard.
I'm building about 30 pieces right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I got about 30 of them on back order right now.
So
You
this
know-
is just catching up.
Well, you know what? Since the COVID time started,
Sure.
you know, we've been pretty blessed. We've been super busy. And a lot of people just want to get out of the house, go up into the fields, up into the gold fields, up to the rivers. They want to go prospect for gold.
Yeah.
And you really can't blame them wanting to get out. Everyone's been cooped in for way too long. Now they have the opportunity to get out and spread their wings and look for gold.
It seems like, too, Pat, that there's an increasing interest in hard rock. Just, you know, in the past, you know, everybody was interested in placer and didn't spend a lot of time thinking about hard rock. And I think as time has gone on, there's more and more and more of an interest in
Well,
hard
maybe
rock.
more of the professional guys, a lot more hard rock.
Right.
But a lot of the beginning people like placer mining
Sure,
and
oh, yeah,
panning and
no, it's
sluicing.
still gonna be that
It's a lot easier, takes a lot less knowledge, and you can go out and have fun for the family.
Yeah.
Hard rock, there's a lot more to it.
Sure, no, it's
Yeah.
a lot more work.
Yep.
So what are these things?
This isn't for the average dredger.
No,
This is the kind of stuff that you would see up in like Bering Sea Gold. This right here, these are for 10-inch dredge. And what's interesting about this is they're massive. They're big enough to suck your head inside of it. So you have to be extremely careful. The amount of water that gets injected into these is typically about 1,500 to 3,000 gallons a minute that are actually entering into the jet. And the vacuum on a quad jet is absolutely incredible. It can be an easy 6 to 12 inches of vacuum, which is tremendous. That means it's just gobbling up boulders, and that's at the end of like a 40 or 50 foot hose.
and so you guys make everything from some pretty small scale, real small scale stuff, all the way to really giant
bigger,
scale.
even commercial stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what we do, even besides the mining stuff, we also do a lot of reclamation equipment.
Sure.
Different types of recovery equipment.
Right.
We use them for recovering live ordnance in Hawaii.
I've seen stuff that you've advertised that you made for recovering like diamonds or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we just make all different types of equipment, and you know what? We manage to stay busy, and we're fortunate to be involved in such a great business that it's so exciting, and being able to go out and use the equipment and actually find gold, I think is pretty much the prize, the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm going to show you the backyard.
We're still filming.
Oh, good. That way you can kind of move the camera around and really see what this place is behind the scenes. You know, there's a lot more than meets the eye. And this is where we stock a lot of our other frames, a lot of our extra stuff that we don't have room in our warehouses.
Yep.
And more 151 hoppers, dry washer parts, all these racks filled with riffles, different frames, a little organized chaos. But you can see some of the prototype equipment we've been working on. Hoppers.
Of course, you got a lot of
prototype stuff.
Metal you've stored.
My prototype centrifuge I've been working on for 4 or 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a Knudsen bowl type thing.
Much different.
Well, I mean, conceptually.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Some of the other stuff, like for our land reclamation equipment.
Right. That's the big pump.
Yeah. Some of the stuff we're making for the Navy.
Okay.
Those are souped up 37 horsepower motors that actually put 50 horsepower out.
Wow.
That are going to be working 90 feet deep. This is for the Navy.
Huh.
And we had to build special cages for them. And over here is one of our warehouses. This is where we keep some stock of some of our motors. Look at this, all Honda motors.
Yeah.
More motors. And down here you can see a big shipment of a container load of equipment that's going to Africa. And you can see that we stock actually quite a bit of material here.
Yeah.
Right here you see a bunch of Supermax dredges that are getting ready to go out. You can see our sluice blanks that are all getting ready to go in and be bent up.
Yep, on the brake.
All the extra sluices that you see.
Right.
I mean, you see the factory, but sometimes you don't always see all the little things. All the little things that make us up and who we are.
Well, Pat, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey.
I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You guys have a great shop here. I think it was a great thing to share with my viewers. You guys make a lot of equipment, all kinds of stuff from dry to, you know, to giant suction dredges to small stuff to just river sluice boxes, pans, you name it. You guys are good at it, and you've been doing it for a long, long time. So,
Absolutely.
you know, I have to say that I recommend Keene to all of the folks that watch my channel because you guys make great stuff.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll
It's
see
been
you
a pleasure.
again. We'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed that tour of the Keene factory. They got all the equipment and they make some really great stuff. In fact, I'm here using my Keene dry washer, and actually I bought my first Keene dry washer almost 45 years ago, and the first one I used, I used it, I don't know, I used it about 35 years, and then I wanted to upgrade to one here that has a little electric motor on it and runs off a battery because it'll handle more. That's kind of my compromise. You could get the big gasoline engine powered ones and they'll power through more material, but they're heavier weight and a lot more work to get them into a place, which is why I have this. It's kind of the compromise between the drawstring and the gasoline motor. It'll run as much as I need it to. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that tour. Now, you know, having great equipment is one thing, but you need to know how to find gold. You need to know how to use it. And if you want to get better skills as a prospector and learn more about how to actually find gold with your good equipment, I wrote a book about that. It's called Fistful of Gold. And actually Keene, they carry it, they sell it. You can buy it from them. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my book right now. You can also get it through Amazon. And here, let me tell you more about my book. So let me tell you a little bit more about my book. It's called Fistful of Gold, and I wrote it because I want you to be able to go out and find for yourself fistful of gold. And you can see that it's an encyclopedia with all kinds of information, pictures, and that sort of thing. It's not in color, but color would have cost me a lot more to have printed, and so the book would have cost a lot more. It's for sale on Amazon, and you can pick it up. I'll put a link in the description below. I also serve as the editor for a prospecting magazine. It's ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. And honestly, you should check that out. We got stories and information, legal stuff, everything you know to increase your skills as a prospector. I write articles in this every month, and a lot of other very experienced prospectors contribute to the magazine as well. So check the magazine out. Also, I have a website, and the website is at NevadaOutbackGems.com. I'll put a link for it in the description below, but there's gobs of information there that you will find useful in your prospecting efforts. Finally, I want to say that I really appreciate your comments and thoughts, and even positive criticism. Don't come on there and just toss out insults, because I'll just delete your comments. But if you've got helpful things to say and questions to ask, do write and put those in the comments, because I answer my comments to people, and you'll hear from me in responding to you. So if you've enjoyed this video and you like what you see and you're interested in finding out more, well then sign up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so they'll let you know when I post new videos. And like it and share it if again you see stuff that you really are excited about. And I'll be coming out with lots more new videos, and so we'll see you again real soon.